Welcome to Tuesday, November 26, 2024. Your Day Weather podcast brought to you by Converse County Tourism. Douglas and Glen Rock, Wyoming are bustling with action this holiday season. Plan your excursion, including fun activities, beautiful downtowns, and historic treasures. Learn more at conversecountytourism.com. Well, as we embark on the next day, getting closer to Thanksgiving, we'll continue to take a look at the weather here as we certainly will focus in on travel again today. There's more shots of lenticular clouds and lots of those to show you. Now, Pacific weather systems are going to be coming through. The remains of that big Pacific storm, the last really big pieces, will be coming through today and tomorrow. So the areas that we highlighted yesterday are the areas we're going to highlight again today, where the best chance of snow will be. Everybody gets colder. It's going to be a pretty chilly Thanksgiving for really just about everywhere across the nation. So we'll take a little close look again at that travel outlook. Do expect through the weekend to be chilly. The chilly temperatures will be found everywhere. Some folks will have cold and no snow. Some of you will have cold and some snow, depending on where you are. Now, the overall pattern of cold will shift into the nation's midsection and the northeastern parts of the U.S. The Rockies are kind of getting a glancing blow. That high pressure ridge in the Gulf of Alaska got its head cut off, is going to get its head cut off, and that will allow a more eastward shift of the really, really cold wintry air. That's going to be to the east of the region next week, but everybody will be cold this weekend. This is a great shot of the thickening moisture ahead of that Pacific system. You can see some lower level moisture here, a lot of high level moisture here, with these altocumulus clouds streaking in. And when you see them coming in sheets like this, that's when that moisture is really getting deeper. And that high level moisture, again, giving us just beautiful shots of lenticular clouds and sunrises and sunsets. Now, here's a great photo of lenticulars. It's your typical lenticular view, but what's really impressive here is this shows the wave features of the lenticular clouds and how the wave features tend to work, especially these clouds here in the distance. Don't focus on this cloud, but let's look at the clouds on the horizon. Here's a lenticular here, here's a lenticular here, here's a lenticular here. Notice they're evenly spaced. Well, when the wind goes over the mountains, the high level winds, a wave forms, and at the top of the wave is where you get the lenticular clouds. So this shows the wave function beautifully. As the winds go up, cause the clouds to form, the wave comes down, making it windy on the plains, and there's the rising wave again. And you get the clouds at the top of the wave. So that's a classic photo there. Good catch. More beautiful sunrises will be found throughout the course of the week, but as we lose this Pacific moisture later in the week, we won't have as many shots like this across the west, as that Pacific system has just been throwing a lot of mid and high level moisture our way. Now, here's a fun video. Now, I've gotten other videos from folks like this before of pets watching the podcast. It's definitely the drawing tool that really gets them going. So that's fun. Even the dogs are interested in the Thanksgiving holiday travel period because they want their favorite relative to come. Now, as you take a look at the imagery coming here with the moisture streaking off the Pacific coast, kind of hard to define that upper level low there in the Pacific Northwest, but there's that pipeline of moisture. You can really see it in the water vapor. So that's all lining up to come on through. And the radar this morning showing the rain in California, the Sierras getting the heavy snow, and then you can see the trajectory of the moisture coming on in along the I-80 and the I-70 corridors of the region. And that's where the activity will be today, tonight, and tomorrow. We're going to get some light snows up here in Montana and the Dakotas from the cold Canadian air coming on in. And here's the system that came through the west on Sunday, heading into the upper Great Lakes in the northeast. Right now, we've got a lot of winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories in effect. The pink winter storm warnings for the mountains of Colorado and southern Wyoming, winter weather advisories in the purple areas there. So you can see it's right along that path of moisture. These are wind advisories in the brown for southern Colorado and northern New Mexico. So this is where, if you're going to be bisecting those pink or those purple areas, or even near those, is where you're going to have travel concerns today, tonight, and Wednesday. And you can see the straight line flow, the strong moist flow coming right off the Pacific there. By Friday, this is by late Thursday, so this is Thursday into Friday. Winds aloft are coming in from the northwest, pulling in that Canadian air. We're going to have a consolidation of the low here take form in the Great Lakes. That high pressure ridge is still up in the Gulf of Alaska region, streaking up through Alaska, helping to cause that jet stream go up, over, and around. And that's what's going to pump in the very cold air in behind this trough and spread cold air across the nation. Really starting tomorrow and especially Thursday into Friday through Sunday. This is the precipitation forecast between now and 5 p.m. Thanksgiving Day. Most of what you see here is going to be happening today and tomorrow. Although up here in Montana and the Dakotas, you're going to be getting some light snows as the Arctic air begins to push up into the northern tier as we get into Thanksgiving Day. We'll talk about that here in a little bit more because we're going to see a little streak of moisture across the plains. And that's what the snowfall looks like through Thursday late afternoon. So if traveling, you're going to want to watch out for those blue areas and those pink areas in particular, and watch out for icy roads and highways. And temperatures are going to be cold, very cold. Now, if we take a look at the same period of time through Thursday afternoon for the whole country, you can see we're going to have some snow here in the northeast, a lot of snow in Canada and along the northern tier. That is through 5 p.m. Thursday. These are the temperatures for Thanksgiving Day. So you can see just about the entire nation, except for you lucky folks in Florida, you will see temperatures that are going to be very cold. But even Florida next week is going to see some very cold temperatures as that trough digs in. So you can see the core of the Arctic air up here, the dark green, the darker blues, and those purple areas there showing you're going to have below zero temperatures here late this week and this weekend up in south central areas of Canada. The trajectory, though, of the air, as you can see, is kind of pointed that way, and that's what's going to end up happening next week. This is by Saturday morning. We're going to get a very mature trough beginning to form in the northeast and the Great Lakes. This is where the high pressure ridge gets cut off. So this will allow the airflow to be more sent to the east instead of to the south. The position of the ridge, how strong it is, and the flow up here really dictates where the cold air is going to go. So this really dictates how cold the U.S. gets and where it gets cold in the U.S. This is the next travel period coming up. This is from Thursday night into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A couple of things I want to highlight. This area right here is going to be an area of light snow that's going to form along the Arctic boundary as the Arctic air gets pushed through. So you can see it's a very narrow band, but it covers a lot of distance. So if you're traveling between Friday and Sunday, if you're going to be finding your way cutting across this area, you're going to want to just kind of keep an eye on things. It doesn't look like much, and it isn't much, but if you're driving in it, it feels like a lot because there's that snow coming right on through here. So as the Arctic boundary comes on through, there's going to be another light period of snow right along this boundary. Now keep in mind, this boundary could be a little more east or it could end up shifting a little bit west. So we'll update this for you tomorrow. But this is not big, but if you're going to drive through that, keep that in mind. Then let's talk about the Great Lakes region, because as this cold air spills in over the course of the Thanksgiving Day weekend and heads into the Great Lakes, it's going to be a big weather maker. This is the period of Wednesday through Sunday. So it's a 5-day period from tomorrow through Sunday of all the temperatures added together. So anywhere you see blue, green, or purple, you're going to see below average temperatures over that 5-day period. So it is going to be chilly through all of the Thanksgiving weekend in the central and western United States. Then that cold spreads east in the Great Lakes. Now keep in mind, the Great Lakes don't have any significant ice on them yet. The water temperatures are still warm from the summer and fall, and you have Arctic air that's going to be coming over the Great Lakes region. And this is going to be making news. Look at these lake effect snows. Going to have to watch that Buffalo Bill game Sunday. There could be a lot of snow depending on where the snow bands set up in that Buffalo area. later this weekend. But if you're headed anywhere into the Great Lakes region or parts of the northeastern U.S., even into parts of Pennsylvania there, you're going to have a lot of wintry weather through the Thanksgiving weekend to keep an eye on. And again, this doesn't look like much, but that could be icy and snowy in some areas. So there's quite a bit of weather, more than we've had over the last couple of years for the Thanksgiving period. We'll have an update for you tomorrow on travel. In the meantime, have a good Tuesday.